All right, all right, all right. This is my eighth episode for my channel so far, my Mystic Path. Um, and it makes sense that it's just the eighth because it's New Year's. Well, it's New Year's Eve, so we are just about to wrap up 2025. Yes, we are. And the way I am bringing in the new year, strongly guided by spirit to reflect, strongly, strongly guided to do so, and to reflect with sharing of truths, which has already actually begun. I must say so. It's already begun because I had a significant conversation with someone at work before I left. And it was kind of like an unveiling, like a revealing, you know? And um, I need to tap in. So, unfortunately, the topic of tonight, with this reflection, it is based around a connection that is completing, that is reaching completion tonight. Mind you, me and this person that I'm referring to, that I've been connected to, we have not been in harmony lately. He's actually blocked from contacting me on my phone. However, we still have to share space often because of work. But it's been a spiritual journey, y'all. And it's always a spiritual journey when it comes to me and my life and my experiences. And one day I'm going to be able to unite with someone who understands this. They'll understand it as far as myself as an individual, and they'll understand it in regards to the life that we will share together. And if they're very open, they'll get to see how their life is also spiritual, if they don't already know before they meet me. But unfortunately, yes, the guidance for what I need to speak on tonight is in relation to this connection. And I've gotten clarification about that because I did a little reading on myself. For myself, I just let the cards come out. Let me know what the focus is on. Okay. The person the cards started coming out, and you know what? They were speaking about this person. And the year is not ending good for him. But you know what? For me, it's ending very well. It's ending very well. I got great messages. Great messaging for myself. Not so good regarding him. But I got clarification regarding our connection. Love is reversed. It ain't happening. But also, y'all, it's been a journey. So it's been a battle. And I must share the interpretation of now 2 dreams put together that I had. Oh, that's interesting. 2, 2, and 5. 2, 2, 5. Well, that would be 54. 4 plus 5 equals 9. Okay, so I had a dream a long time ago. Not a long time ago, but a while back in 2018 or 17. And I got from the dream, I was receiving, it was something like a test / resume back from a lady who appeared to be like an angel / HR. So me saying that out loud is very interesting because it's like spiritual and professional put together, or like spiritual educational, because the lady, her face, I knew her. She worked in HR at the job that I was looking to obtain. I was waiting on an offer letter, or maybe at the time I might have been waiting on an interview. I can't remember, but I knew the lady already. And I remember I was pretty anxious about it because I really wanted it, but I did receive this dream that I interpreted at the time as being directly related to that job. But the problem is it has stuck with me. So it wasn't just about that job. And also, that job, while there, I experienced a very pivotal situation that really put my life onto a different track. All divinely meant to be, but obviously it was like a storm. So while I'm in the storm, it's like, nah, what the fuck is going on here? Right? But it all made sense. It all makes sense today. But anyways, so with the dream, in the dream, the lady who I knew, but again, in the dream, she's looking like an angel, but in real life, she represents HR for me. She's giving me this paper back, and it looks like it's graded. And so in one sense, I'm thinking, oh, resume, because she's HR. But it has stuck with me to reveal itself as meaning more than that, which is like a test. And at the top of the paper, she has a score. And I know it's a score because it's on a piece of paper and it's at the top of the page and it says 18 over 8 and then it's circled. And I remember she was looking at me with like assurance, like kind of good job, like well done kind of thing. And I remember I was like in a grass field and there was children around me. Some of them I knew and I had already worked with, and they weren't even children. Some of them I had worked with, they weren't like young children, but they were younger people that I supported as like a mentor. And yeah, it was very interesting. There were squirrels, like futuristic looking squirrels. It was interesting, but it was very happy. It was very happy. I was happy. It was good. It was just all really good. So it wasn't just in relation to that job. This was like a life-changing situation. So fast forward, this dream has stuck with me, and there's another one that relates to it as well. But this one, I believe, is significant for tonight. I do. Because moving forward, right? So fast forward to last year, 2024, which was an 8 year. I must write that down. It was an 8 year for 2024. That equals 8. Okay. I met somebody. And it's interesting because then this year ends up being his personal 8. There's another 8. Okay. So, anyways, so last year I met I met the guy who actually I was referring to. And I just looked at the clock and it said 10:53. So that was 18. So it's kind of confirmation. So I met this guy that I was referring to at the beginning of this recording, who I said is ending the year in not such a great state. Y'all, I've never had a more clear day than today to let me know wholeheartedly through my whole body, not just mentally, because that's just one layer. But it's almost like through all 7 layers of me that this has been, unfortunately, an enemy. Somebody who was anti, which is funny, because I've been thinking today about how there's a person I used to date that used to call me antisocial. But also, I was just having a conversation tonight with another guy who was basically telling me that the guy I'm referring to at the beginning of this recording was like, would kind of tell him like he's anti. I don't think he used that word, but basically saying like he's antisocial. So interesting, because he and I began to like exchange information, like hidden truths about this person that we are both connected to. Okay, so, but yeah, last year I met this guy, the one that seems to be, or who now I have to accept today as 100% like a hidden enemy. I met him last year, okay? And here's the thing. I had a dream of, I've had multiple dreams about him. So I had a dream about him that showed me, this might have been the last dream I had of him. Because like I said, I had multiple. So I think the last dream that I had of him, he was sitting across from me somewhere. If it seemed like it was like in the distance, but it was a dream. But he was holding up a piece of paper or a poster or whatever, something like that, similar to what I had in my dream that I had years ago. He's holding up a piece of paper, but there's nothing really on it that you could kind of tell that it was, like, oh, I turned this in and now it's graded. So it wasn't like a grading at the top of the paper. It was more like a big piece of paper with 18/8 on the paper. It wasn't circled, but it was just the 18/8. So here's the thing. I'm also reminded of right now in the moment of the fact that like it's interesting to refer to any of this as like a test or, basically being in relation to schooling, because this guy has a first and middle name that took, when I learned of his first and middle name, I was reminded of my elementary school peers, 2 different guys that was in my class, one with his first name, one with his middle name. So I just thought that was interesting. But yeah, so it was in the dream holding up this paper or poster or whatever with 18/8. nothing else on the sheet. And he was showing it to me, you know. And I don't remember him saying anything, but I do remember that I was kind of getting the feeling that he was providing a plea. I just heard plea deal, but like a plea, you know, that kind of represented a plea. But I haven't been all the way sure, but I know that's the feeling that I would get when I would replay the dream in my mind, like through memory. Okay, so one day I decided to look at the math, right? Because 18 over 8, that's math, right? So first of all, it means extra credit, right? So 8 over 8, that would have been a perfect score. But then I got added 10 points, which is funny because one of the cards that came out and I still have in front of me for tonight's reading, well, the one that came out for me is 10 of Pentacles, which is very dope. But 8 over 8 is 1, is equal to 1. And that's interesting because, first of all, 10 equals 1, and 2026 is a 1 year. So, just saying. Now, 18 over 8, however, that's, you can take that as mathematics. And you could say, okay, 18 divided by 8. What is that? That is 2.25. 2 and a quarter. 2 and 1/4. But write it out in the decimal formation, it's 2.25, which are the same numbers in 2025. Okay, so then I look at 2025. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, first of all, okay, there's an ending, right? It's a 9 year. But I just write it out and I say, okay, 2025, 2025. Something about 2025. Okay? All right. So at this point, bro, okay, here's another thing that's been significant. There's been a concept of victory that I have had to appreciate and embrace and acknowledge. And you got to think about the word victory. Victory happens when you defeat an opposing force. Okay? Somebody will be the victor, somebody will be the loser. So something else that often catches my attention is license plates. And the other day I saw a license plate. It said won, as in WON, like you win. Okay, so I wrote it down. Usually when I see something that catches my attention like that, I capture it in my phone. So I just type what I see. So I wrote 1. But the same day I saw victory. And then I had just went to my text messages and was reminded of this information. And so I had typed 1, I typed victory, and then I typed 18 over 8, which equals, I put in parentheses, 2025. Okay. So I also have to share the concept of finality. Like there's a sense of final, like final boss type shit, like finality, like, like a higher level of fighting that I feel it relates to this entire situation. Okay. So I've been getting that final boss energy or thought epiphany for like some weeks now. Okay, so which shit, even that can refer to many different things. But okay, so I have to bring in more info for a part of this to give it strength. Um, there was a day when this guy walked into the office where I work. We don't do the same work. We're not on the same team. We don't have the same bosses. None of that. We just work in the same building. And so, but sometimes he'll come by my area where I work. And when we've been on good terms, we speak. But it ain't like that really no more. Okay, because I'm done. I'm done with the battle. Okay. And I just heard war. Something said no war, internet war. Okay, so there was something recently that had occurred, probably like within the last month or so. He passed my desk or whatever, and I was tired. Oftentimes I'm tired, but also you must have in mind that I have strong reason to believe that this person is also an energy vampire. So he's one of the people that sucks my energy and makes me tired. Okay? Him and my boss, actually. They drain my energy. They both. And this person has literally spoken on my energy saying, like, you got, like, basically complimenting my energy. But not being somebody to pour into me, definitely demanding things of me, verbally, literally. So, anyways, this day where he walked by my desk and I guess in some way, shape, or form, he took notice that I was tired. I was tired, but listen, there is a thing that I have embraced about doing it tired. Like, I might be tired, so no, I'm not able to be as social, maybe, but I'm going to do my work. I'm here to work. I'm not here to be social. So, and on top of that, he had been getting on my nerves. But he wanted to make a joke, and he said these words. He said, I guess I must have spoke or something, and so he heard the tired in my voice, but it also was still early in the morning. So, but he said something oh, defeated. Like he's saying, like I was defeated or whatever. Because I'm tired and I sound like it or whatever. And I said, no, I'm just tired. I'm still going. I'm just tired. Nah, you defeated. And so here's where he's getting on my nerves because, first of all, we ain't even on the best of terms. So I hate when he comes around to act like we all cool when we're really not. So he says that, and I'm like, no, I ain't defeated. I'm still going. I'm just tired. And then I brought it back on him or something like that. But anyway, he the one brought up the concept of being defeated. You could just take it as a joke. You could. But here it is. We're dealing with somebody who I don't have reason to really accept his jokes as just jokes. Like, he doesn't have that privilege because of the way he's acted, behaved, talked, the way he just moves. So, um, so yeah, he brought up the concept of me being, he brought up the concept of defeat. And I took it, I'm sure, probably more seriously than he meant it, but it stuck with me, because this guy has been one to play games with me for more than a year, with some off points because I'd be separated and have him blocked so we wouldn't be talking. But for whatever reason, when we're on and we're in contact and you have access, you want to play games. And I even got confirmation of that tonight from the other person who I was exchanging truths with. We was exchanging truths together. He was talking about something that the guy posted on his Facebook, whatever, and it was just head game type shit with girls, with females, or with a woman. Not me, but just talking, um, just doing head game stuff, just mind games. And there's another reason for me not to talk to this person. So so look, but yeah, he did speak of defeat. So now this is significant for me because there has been energy of him basically being like an an opposing force. He literally was friends and close with and supportive of um and sexual with um and defensive of someone who I 100% labeled as an op. And this was a girl, a female that he had in my energy when I did not invite her to be as such. So he now this person I easily clearly labeled as an op, because girl, I ain't attracted to you. You ain't no feelings getting in the way, blurring my vision of who and what you are, right? Now, it might happen with a guy that I'm attracted to, such as it was happening with this guy. But you, I see clear as day. I could smell you. I could feel you. I see you. You are an op. We are not friends, and we won't be friends. And she had actions and behaviors to back up why I decided that about her. But this guy, was close to her, was cool with her, maybe still is. I don't know. But now, bro, that makes you a op. But see, for several months, most of the time we've been connected, I haven't really put that label on this guy. But today, it's done. You've been on the opposing, even if you aren't an op yourself in nature of mind, you chose the opposing. You chose my opponent. You chose the side of my opponent. You fought for that side. You defended that side. When I brought things up to you, different times, you defended that side, if not just yourself. But you never actually have supported me or walked alongside me or defended me, or just fought alongside me. So I'm seeing lights again. So interesting. So now this is a battle, right? But again, I heard war. So I have had to think of him as being a symbol of culmination regarding a war, a spiritual war that I've been in for some years. And he represents the culmination of that war. Like my experience with him represents the culmination of that war. And now, who wins? I did. I do. So that 18/8, I feel like, now that I'm speaking about it out loud, it feels to me as if it's like on my paper, right? Because the 18/8 was it was at the top of my page. My page has content on it. The 18/8 is circled, and it's clear as day, that this is positive feedback with extra credit for a test that I was taking, right? Or something that I submitted. Now with him, he's holding up a paper with 18/8 on, just big on the paper. So now I must think, oh, you're that test. How I deal with you this year of 2025 is what I'm being graded on. But it's not just about this year. Again, it's culmination. Because also, this year is a 9. And this is the last year of a 9-year cycle. Next year begins a whole new 9-year cycle. The last 1 year we had as a people, we're 2026. So what was it? It would have had to be 2008. No. 2008? No, that don't make sense. 2008, 17, 7, 8, 9, 10. When I had the dream. Oh, wow. That's when I had this dream. I am just now aligning that. 7, 8, 9, 10. That was a 1 year when I had my 18/8 dream. 2026, 9. Literally. That's when I had my dream. So this is the culmination of this 9-year cycle. And it's symbolized by, or I say it's marked, it's decorated with this experience. And I'm sure there's more if I dig more. But I haven't had another dream with anybody else holding up 18/8. It was him. And then look what conversation I have with somebody else who knows him and has also been dealing with similar struggles with this person who he's been close to. So it is a lot about him, but I think it's also a culmination thing. And for tonight, for this guy to tell me that he don't think that this other person, the guy I'm speaking on, believes in God, or he don't know nothing Bible. And now I'm feeling like you are like 100%. This has been a devilish situation, 100%. Like, because you ain't got to be no Christian. But now I'm thinking of it and it's like, yeah, you, yeah. Yeah. This has been a real spiritual war, bro. This has been a real spiritual war. So, with the 18/8, right, 2.25. So I feel like with him showing me his paper with 18/8 on it, it's like I just see me like circling it, and being like, I'll take that. Thank you. Like, that's mine. Like the victory. It's like victory. I don't know. But I do feel that there's a finality with tonight and with 2025 coming in tomorrow as no more. I also was driving from Walmart and I saw a sign that said Casa Mañana, which is very interesting because this is a guy who native language I do believe is Spanish. At least he speaks Spanish. And then I saw with that sign it said big things coming. And it said Casa Mañana tomorrow. Tomorrow is the 1st of 2026. Casa, home, man, I don't know, home, house, but tomorrow and big things coming. So I just find that, very, very interesting. I think I've really decoded things very much to realize, like, this ain't been nothing but a spiritual war and journey, because I promise ever since 2017, actually, and it was like the tail end of 2017, I was working in Santa Barbara, and I thought I had finished my master's degree, and then I was ready to go back towards home to kind of like fulfill a vision. And I was called to the company that I went to, and I joined them in 28, right at the beginning of 2018. Yeah. Yeah. That's deep. That's deep. That's deep. That is deep. So this ends up being kind of more so a reflection of this whole cycle situation. And so now, because I have been wondering, like, these eights, like, what is up with these eights? I feel like, what if they're in relation to this past 9-year cycle? But also, I get, my last 3 9-year cycles. So 2017 to 2026. 2025. Because 2026 is a 1. So, but before 2025, before 2017. So 2016, right? 6, 7, 8, 9. So then that one was 2008. 8, 9, 10. 2008 was when I was graduating high school. And then before 2008, there was 2007. That was a 9. And the 1 year would have been 1999 when I was 9. When I was adopted. So that was basically high school. Well, middle school and high school, actually. Well, still some elementary school as well. And then 2008, actually, I was not graduating college in 2008. I was graduating high school in 2008. Did I say that? I was graduating high school in 2008. I went to college, and up through 2016, it was like my bio family. I was in Santa Barbara. 2017, I went back to LA. 2018, went back to LA, worked at UFC, and yeah, there's been a lot with that one as well. But now I'm wondering, what if each of these cycles, because technically 9 minus 1 is 8, but What if each of these cycles, and 8 to me does represent kind of cycle energy and movement. What if there's just something to come with each of these cycles that I then get next year, what I'm calling my fire baptism year, my rebirth year. Fire rebirth. What if that's the secret behind the 888? Mind you, I did see 888 today as well, but yeah, that's another dream I had in 2017 was 888. I'm about to close it up right here. I'm gonna just circle big things coming tomorrow. But yeah, I think it's just, victory. I've been in a war, a battle, a war of multiple battles. There was a final boss situation, I guess, and I've completed it. I won. And I just heard I'm about to reap my rewards because it ain't been easy. This has not been easy. One of the biggest things that I had to learn was to not let love lead me. Because with doing so, which I used to be all about, with doing so, I would lose myself. I would lose because I'd let myself be weak. I'd let myself be overtaken by feelings and sensations. And so my strength becomes obsolete. But I'm a very strong person. But my strength will become obsolete. And I would let it, happily. Because love. But I have learned love can't lead me. Love cannot lead me. Yeah. Not in a situation of war. There is no love in war. In war, there's no love. And that's what I've been in. I've been in war. Love lives at home. So that's very interesting because now this is the first moment where the word home has come out because I'm like, casa mañana, what about it? Casa means home. Love lives at home. Love does not reside in war. And so you can't be in a battlefield, thinking that your opponents are your lovers. You can't be loving your opponents. You can't do that. Not if you don't want to lose. So I think it's also a lesson of you shouldn't have to fight a lover for love. You and a lover of yours should never have to fight for love. Like each other? No. Maybe others, but not each other. Not each other. So, yeah. I'm proud of myself. I'm happy for myself. And I think that this is one reason why I've been feeling great tonight, because I won. And I didn't just win over this guy, because it's not just about him. Like I said, it's a culmination. I won over myself, like my lower self, my less mature self, my less wise self, my more naive self, my less woke self. I won and still possess the capability and capacity to love. Still. But I'm just wise now. And if I love, it'll be because I choose to do so, not because I fell into it. I'm going to close it on that. That's a mic drop. And this is long enough. So, Happy New Year. And till next time in 2026. Bye.